What's good, YouTube? Key to Success here. I'm back with another video. I'm gonna go over the 5 things that I hate about trucking. So here I go. Alright. So the first thing that I hate, and may or may not be besides one other thing I'll go over, but it's one of the worst things while on the road that I dislike, is the wait times for any and everything and the dependence on people at these shippers and receivers. And that being said, you'll get to a place that you're either picking up or dropping off, and you got an appointment time at 7 a.m. You get there early. Let's say you get there at 6 a.m. and you thinking everything's smooth. You might even have some other stuff to do too, so you're trying to get there early as you can. It's earlier the better. You get there and it's like 5 hours later, and you not just now either getting loaded or unloaded, or like they loading on 2 pallets or unloading 2 pallets. You're like, damn, what's taking so fucking long? It ain't no way that 2 pallets is taking 5 hours. And it's either the lumper services. That's a ripoff. I feel like, just my opinion, but I feel like that's a ripoff. I gotta pay you to take stuff off my truck that you ordered. That don't make no fucking sense. But alright, I ain't gonna go on a tangent there. But it's either you waiting on lumpers to take it off the truck and sort it, or you got the lumpers who taking that shit off right away. I love them motherfuckers. They take that shit off away, sort it, and then they get the paperwork back to the people in the office, and then you waiting on them. And sometimes it's both, and you just waiting there, or they just don't communicate, and you sitting there wasting time. And one thing I learned is be on top of their ass while you're there, cause either they'll forget you or they'll lie about something. Cause I had a place lie, say, "Oh, we called you, da da da, this or that," and they said they called me, they came to look for me. I'm like, dude, I was here this whole time. Y'all never called me. Y'all never did any of the above. I definitely know y'all did not come look for me, because I'm here in the lot. I put my license plate number and all that stuff down, name. Ain't no way y'all missed me. The other thing, calling, it was just a bad reception area, so I could see that maybe. But then again, I was getting calls from other people, so it didn't make no sense. But yeah, I just, number one thing is just the wait times as you're waiting at these places. You would think you just be in and out, especially when you lump stuff yourself, and you're lumping 2, 3, 4 pounds, even maybe a little bit more than that. I've done the most I've done was like 4, and you get that shit done in an hour, maybe hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, if it's really that much shit. But definitely you getting that shit done in an hour, hour and a half, and you're sitting there for the same stuff. You're sitting there having someone else doing it. It's taking forever. So hate that shit. So number two is, in trucking, it's the big ass expenses that you got. You got this big ass truck, you're gonna have these big ass expenses. Ain't nothing cheap to be done on this truck. The oil change is $500+. Just to do a PM, $500+. Your car is like $40-$50, if that. You got $20 ones in some places, but yeah, you got that much. All the oil that's gonna take, coolant. There's a bunch of other moving parts that go around. You got the air system. Myself, I just spent 5 G's. Nah, I probably spent more than that. I spent 5 G's fixing an air leak, replacing a airbag on my tractor, and what else? The air leak, it was the fan hub. There's a couple other things, I don't know, but it was like $4,000. Then the week before that, I spent $1,500 fixing my AC, because my AC went out, my compressor went out, and I'm not riding around with no AC. I don't know how y'all niggas do that. I don't know how companies let motherfuckers do that, but they do that shit. But I ain't the one. So I had that. yeah, just everything on the truck is just big. You're making big money. You're spending that big money, and I put on the truck to 5,000 miles in about 10 to 14 days, and trucks always running, always moving. So it's stuff is always bound to break. So that's why you always gotta stay on top of your stuff, checking things out, doing your pre-trip inspection, your post-trip inspection, and just always checking your shit periodically when you're at shippers, getting gas, whatever the case may be. Uh, yeah, so that's number two is just the big ass expenses. And you got to live with them. Ain't nothing you could do. But sometimes these expenses can put you out of business. Um, so it's that. Number three is kind of goes along with number two, but I feel like it's a big thing, and I wouldn't say I hate the feeling, but I do hate the feeling, is that you're always in fight or flight mode with your truck. You go home, you're thinking about your truck. You're out with your family, you're thinking about your truck. You're in your truck thinking about your truck. It's just an ongoing cycle of you kind of just worrying about your truck, and it sucks sometimes because you would think you're right with your family, and you would obviously be trying to focus on them, but you're not because you're thinking about your truck. Like, I gotta get this fixed, or I gotta make this pickup or run, and this day's coming up, and it's just you already know it's coming because, like I said, expense is the big thing, and you always gotta save for that next big thing. It's gonna come. It's inevitable. So it just always keeps you in that fight or flight mode. It's just going and ongoing, and it's tiring. It's if you don't know how to take care of yourself, or you're out in this road and taking care of your truck, as far as an owner operator goes, you can drive yourself crazy for sure, and you don't want to do that. It's just a lot of it's big stress putting on you, and probably just normal circumstances as a man, especially. But just put on top of it, taking care of this heavy duty equipment, it's gonna kill you. It can kill you if you let it. But you gotta take care of yourself first and foremost, and not let that happen. But yeah, number three is just that I hate that it keeps you in that fight or flight mode. You're always worrying about the next thing, worrying about it all the time, and you're a slave to your truck. Or like my pops and his friend OG like to say, the steel jail cell. You get too far, you get out the truck, put the ankle monitor on, get too far, that motherfucker gonna beep. It's gonna bring you right back to it doing something. So that shit funny as hell when they told me that shit, but when I started really doing it, being it, I'm like, yeah, this motherfucker's a jail cell. And I never been in one, but I can imagine. So besides the point. So we go on to the next one. Number four, we got the regulations. So the trucking industry is heavily regulated. This goes into just everything that you need to do to operate on the truck. You need to have this ELD. You have only 14 hours to operate and 11 hours of driving. So that limits you, especially when you're trying to get to places and you got a time constraint. There's only certain situations you can fuck with that shit and get around it. You have to take a 10-hour break, or you can't work more than 70 hours within a week, or you're gonna have to do a reset. It's just a lot of things that go into that affects the way you do trucking. And I'm already knowing a lot of the older truckers are like, yeah, hell yeah, motherfuckers did some crazy shit, fucking driving before all this regulation started really kicking in, doing some and shit like that to make it fucking niggas got from fucking Wisconsin to California in a day. Like, how the fuck you do that? You ain't doing that shit now. That shit now is gonna take you about, it takes me three days, just about, in a couple hours. So I say 3.5 days always. That's shit's ass. Cause really you can get there faster. You get in the car and get there faster, but But yeah, you got the regulations on that. The way you get your CDL, you got to do all these certain. I think they even made it worse now. I think you have something that incorporates the ELD. You got to get a physical, which I understand that, but still, it's just a lot of stuff that goes hand in with the trucking industry that just affects it 100%. That makes these things difficult for you. So that's one thing I just don't like about the trucking industry. It's heavily regulated. There's no if, ands, buts about it, which is why I got a DOT violation. I wouldn't say it's my fault, but it is my fault. And I'm going to take it like a man, and I got the shit fixed. It is what it is, but like I say, it is what it is. So, yeah, that's that. Then you got number 5, which definitely is probably the number one thing as far as the hate, is just you have to be away from your family. I got a girlfriend, 2 daughters at home, 1.5-year-old and about to be a 9-year-old. They're at home without their dad. But I tell them your dad out here getting it, so y'all can have a better life. And that's what my dad always did for me. And I'm following them same footsteps, but I'm gonna do it 10 times better. No, I tell his ass that all the time. And that's where I'm at in the situation now. And also I'm in the situation now because of him, because he knows that. So shout out to my pops. But yeah, it just sucks being away from home. If you're a family person, it's gonna take a heavy toll on you, and it's being a man and being away from your family, or if you're a woman too, you gotta disassociate yourself almost. You have to disconnect yourself from your family as you're out on this road, because you don't want nothing else on your mind while you're driving this 18-wheeler, this 60-foot, 80,000-pound truck. Even more for some other people, but 80,000 pounds. You don't. One slip up can mean you taking lives, and you want to be focused at all times, 100%. So yeah. So yeah, number 5 is just being away from home. That shit sucks. I know my kids don't like it. Not so much the 2-year-old, about to be 2-year-old, but my 9-year-old, she doesn't love it. My girlfriend doesn't love it, but it's something they both have to accept, and it's something that you're gonna have to break your family into, because that's kind of how I kind of slowly broke them into it. I told them, like, yo, it's gonna come a point in time where I'm not gonna be home every day, or I'm gonna be gone for 7 days, 10 days, 2 weeks, more. And I just basically reinforced that every day. Told them, like, I'm not gonna be here. Remember that. Like, live right now, because at the time I was doing flatbed, so I was home majority every day, maybe twice during. I've worked 5 days a week, twice a week. I ended up staying in the truck, having to stay in the truck. Yeah, that kind of worked their way to kind of just getting accustomed to that. Because I'm sure if I just started out bad with what I'm doing now and was just gone 10, 14 days, I'd be killing. But that's not the case. So, yeah, so 5 things is the wait times, dependence on people other than yourself. 2, the expenses, the big ass expenses that I talk about. 3 is the fight or flight mode, that you got basically that battle with your brain in your truck. And then 4, the regulations, and then 5 is being away from home. So I did my 5 things that I love. These are 5 things that I hate about trucking. So let me know what y'all think. Like, comment, subscribe for me, please. I very appreciate that. We trying to grow this channel, and I'm gonna be coming out more content soon. I'm trying to stay on top of it as I drive, so I gotta learn to be dedicated and get into it. So, alright, y'all. Key to success out. Deuces.